Hey Millie, hey Angel. This is pre-recorded for background noise as usual. Hope you guys are doing good this morning. Summer Moon Utah Wells was reported missing Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, just before 6:30 p.m. when her father and allegedly her mother called in and advised that Summer had been missing for about 10 minutes. They've been hollering for her and they couldn't find her. Candace allegedly went for a walk, and when she came back, Summer was gone. Dispatch notified the first responders to make sure they checked the house and camper, even if they said they already have. And Don and Candace, Summer's parents, are suspects in her disappearance. There's an age progressed photo of Summer, about 7, maybe a little bit older. She would be 7 now. Her birthday is February 4th, 2016. She is reported missing from rural Rogersville, Tennessee. It is a Rogersville address where she is from. However, it was in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road. Summer is a white female with blue eyes and blonde hair. She was reported as 3 feet tall, though she was likely 3.5 to 4 feet tall, and she likely was about 40 pounds. She was very small. Summer's head was shaved at the time of her disappearance to just shorter than a pixie cut. The hair depicted in this photo is longer than what Summer's hair was, much longer than what Summer's hair was when she was reported missing. At one point within the weeks leading up to Summer's disappearance, her hair was shaved down to the skin with razor-like precision, and it had grown out to just shorter than a pixie cut by June 15th, 2021. Now, this is from Texas EquiSearch Search and Recovery Online. It says, 5-year-old Summer Wells was last seen at approximately 5:30 p.m. on June 15th, 2021 at her home on Ben Hill Road in Hawkins County, Tennessee. Where did they get the information that Summer was last seen at 5:30 p.m.? Did they get that from Don? Because there used to be maybe still is, and has been a 5:30 problem with Don, where in the beginning he kept saying 5:30, even though it was 6:30 when the 911 call was made, like 6:28, I think it was. So this article goes on to say, Summer reportedly went inside to play in the basement of the house, but when her mother went to check on her, she could not be found. She was last seen wearing gray pants and a pink shirt. If you have seen Summer Wells or know of her whereabouts, please contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-7121. And this article says, or EquiSearch Midwest at their phone number. But however, I don't, nothing against EquiSearch. EquiSearch is great, but I just personally would never say, hey, call EquiSearch if you know where Summer is, or if you have an actual credible tip regarding her disappearance. Call TBI, 1-800-TBI-FIND. Not the PIs or anybody else. In my opinion, you should just call TBI. So we're going to go back up and start at the beginning here. Timeline credit goes to WVLT because that's where I got the timeline from. I just added some pictures and links and stuff in here, and I put it all in order because it wasn't out of order. It was just backwards. And it was, for me, it was kind of hard for me to navigate on the website like that. So I just copy and pasted it all here for my reference. And I thought that would be nice to go over because there's a lot of facts in this that were interesting to me. And I thought they might be interesting to you guys too. It's a refresher. And it was thought-provoking to me. Tuesday, June 15th, 2021, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation issued an endangered child alert for missing Summer Moon Utah Wells. Her family reported last seeing the 5-year-old Summer around 6:30 p.m. Tuesday. She was last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray shorts, and she was possibly barefoot when she went missing. Now, this does end up becoming corrected to say gray pants. We all know in the beginning it was mistaken or misconstrued, I'm not sure which one, as gray shorts. Summer is described as being a white female with short blonde hair and blue eyes. She is said to be 3 feet tall and weighs around 40 pounds. Now, my 2-year-old's 3 feet tall, so Summer at 5 was, like I said, probably closer to 3.5 feet tall. My 2-year-old's also 38 pounds. Summer probably was about 40 pounds because she was extremely thin, and my son's on the bigger side, so I could see her being about 40 pounds. That wouldn't surprise me. Now, on Summer's Missing and Exploited Children flyer, it does say Summer's photo is shown aged progressed 7 years old. She was last seen at home on June 15th, 2021 at approximately 6 o'clock p.m. Summer was last seen wearing gray pants, a pink shirt, and was possibly barefoot. So we've got a 5:30 time, we've got a 6:30 time, and we've got a 6 o'clock time. And we've also got Ronnie Lawson saying Summer was last seen in the early afternoon. And in my opinion, that's because they have proof of life of Summer in the early afternoon, and they're not taking her own mother's word for it because she's a suspect. So they're going with early afternoon because that's the last time they saw her. That's my opinion. Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. The TBI upgraded the endangered child alert to an Amber Alert after TBI said new information and growing concern about the well-being of Summer prompted the statewide alert. And there's some links to some videos that I can go over another time. They're not really that long, but Summer Moon Utah Wells, her family reported last seeing her around 6:30 Tuesday, June 15th. She was last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray shorts and was possibly barefoot. We've updated our poster, says the TBI, to reflect the correct age for Summer Wells, who is missing from the Beech Creek community in Hawkins County, because remember, in the very beginning, Summer was said to only be 4. There was a lot of misinformation from the very get-go. This was posted June 16th, 2021. This morning, the search continues for Summer. She was last seen Tuesday evening. Call 1-800-TBI-FIND with info. Here are additional photos of Summer, who is missing from Hawkins County and reportedly last seen outside of her home in the Beech Creek community on Tuesday evening. Now, this is within the first couple days of Summer going missing. The next day, they post these new pictures and say she was last seen on Tuesday evening. Wasn't very much long after that at all when they started saying early afternoon. Thought that was interesting. So what did they learn? Because they switched from saying she was last seen that evening to saying early afternoon. So they went from somewhat maybe taking Don and Candace's word for it to saying, no, we're not taking their word for it anymore. We believe that they could have had something to do with it maybe, and she was technically quote unquote missing. If they know where she's at, then she's not missing, as in Don and Candace. She's not missing to them. She's missing to everybody else, to the whole rest of the world. But either way, if they know anything about her disappearance or whereabouts, and TBI is suspicious of that, whether they're right or wrong, they're not going to go with their word. There's a reason they're suspicious. They don't just become suspicious of every parent right off the bat when their child goes missing. There's reasons, there's factors, there's things that factor into that. The TBI states these photos may be more representative of Summer's hair now, which was around the time of June 15th, obviously, the next day, June 16th. They never say this is a picture of Summer from June 15th, 2021. The picture on the right was said to be from June 15th. So why wouldn't law enforcement want people to know that? Could they just not prove it? And they did not trust Candace's word, or when they tried to get the metadata, for some reason, something was off about it. They figured out it wasn't from June 15th. They figured out it was from after the time that Summer would have technically been missing. I don't know. The TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office held a media briefing to discuss any findings in Summer's case at 1 p.m. Thursday, June 17th, at Solomon's Temple Missionary Baptist Church. The TBI announced more than 19 agencies were called in to assist in the search for the 5-year-old Summer Wells. Unreliable cell service and difficult terrain was an obstacle for crews searching, and the TBI asked that civilians leave the search to professionals to ensure the safety of everyone. These photos give you an idea of the difficult terrain teams are dealing with during the search for 5-year-old Summer Wells. And that was posted June 17th as well. Numerous local, state, and federal agencies are assisting in the search for Summer. Teams were briefed earlier in the morning on the 17th, and the ground search in the area around Ben Hill has resumed. 1-800-TBI-FIND. Friday, June 18th, the day of Don's infamous first interview with the news, where he had his poor son with him, who looked so sad, in my opinion. The TBI held a media briefing Friday at 2:30 p.m. at Solomon's Temple Missionary Baptist to provide an update on search efforts for Summer. Search crews continued searching the area by land and air, while also starting to check surrounding ponds and creeks. The crews reported searching more than 1,000 acres for Summer by the end of the day Friday. Friday, the TBI began investigating Summer's father, Don Wells's, claims that Summer was abducted. So TBI didn't begin investigating the claims of abduction until Friday? Tuesday was June 15th. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the 18th. Same day Don was on the news. 3 days after Summer was reported missing. Then they finally start to investigate abduction. They didn't start doing that in the first 3 days. Why? That's interesting. And how does WVLT know that? TBI literally told them that? Or did Don say that? WVLT News spoke to Don Wells Friday. Wells addressed accusations of foul play by members of the community and that the TBI has searched his family's home as part of the ongoing investigation. He also shared that Summer is not the first family member to go missing, as Summer's mother, Candace Wells' sister, Rose, went missing in 2009 and was never found. Rosemary Bly, Rosemary Bly has been missing since August 21st, 2009, from St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin. She has children. She left behind her children's father, and her mother, which is also Summer's grandmother, who many refer to as Grandis. Some may say she's doing so much to advocate for Rose, but she's not doing anything to advocate for Summer. Why? Why did she up and split so quickly? Why was it such a mystery where she was? I get she doesn't want people hounding her. I don't blame her for that. But that shouldn't be an issue when it comes to wanting to speak out for your missing granddaughter. When you already know what that's like because you have a missing daughter, you should be quicker to want to talk about it. Just get it over with. Put it in as many people's heads as you can that You think your granddaughter was abducted by a stranger that came up there and took her, and you're terrified for her. You don't know who has her or what's happening to her. She's only 5 years old. She's helpless and innocent. And all you have to say is, I don't have a lawyer. We don't have a lawyer. I don't know what you're talking about. Candace didn't do nothing. I didn't do anything. I was taking a nap. Really? Hmm. Okay. And I know a lot of people think grandma maybe possibly could have nothing to do with Summer's disappearance, but might know, have some guilty knowledge, or have a pretty good idea of what happened. And maybe she knows Don and Candace are guilty, so that's why she up and left so quick. She doesn't want to have any part of it. That's just as bad. She needs to say something if she knows something. I'm going to pull up Rose's picture. This is Rosemary Bly, Summer's aunt. She never got to meet her. She went missing in 2009, and Summer wasn't born until 2016. But in my opinion, they actually look a lot alike. Does anybody else think they look alike? I do. When you put their pictures side by side, I don't know if it's like the cheekbones, the nose. I don't know what it is exactly. They look alike. They have maybe it's the smile. I don't know. Rosemary Bly is a beautiful woman that deserves answers. She deserves to be found, and whatever happened to her, I pray that she's okay. And I pray that she gets justice, and I pray that she's found, more importantly. I pray that is found and gets her justice that she deserves at the very least. And that's what Summer deserves too. And if Grandma knows anything about the disappearance of Rose, as she said, Rose had head trauma right before she went missing because she fell off a horse. Does she know more? Well, she needs to say if she does. And if she knows anything about Summer or has a pretty good idea of what it might have been, she needs to say something. All right. Teams continue to search the area surrounding the residence where 5-year-old Summer Wells went missing, utilizing all available resources. In addition to air and land searches, ponds and creeks are also being checked. They were providing an update on search efforts for Summer at 2:30 Eastern Time on June 18th, and the location was again at Solomon's Temple Missionary Baptist, 7659 Lone Star Road, not far from where Summer lived. Saturday, June 19th, 2021. The TBI continued its search for Summer, but said it would only hold media briefings on the weekend if there was a big find in the case. The TBI was up to 113 tips by Saturday, the 19th, and revealed photos of the home and property where Summer was reported missing from. The Tennessee Association of Rescue Squads requested a statewide call out for agencies across the state to help Sunday in the search for missing Summer Wells. Sunday, June 20th, 2021, TBI continued its search for Summer with help from nearly 70 agencies across the region, including crews from Alabama. The TBI reported it was up to 137 tips 4 days in. TBI tweets, 5-year-old Summer went missing from this property on June 19th. They show a picture of the property for the first time. And they say, anyone with information regarding Summer's disappearance is asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND, adding that every detail, no matter how insignificant you think it may be, is important. Please help us bring her home. So That tells me about 4 days in, they didn't have anything. They didn't have any digital evidence back by then. There's no way they could have. I mean, besides what they had at their fingertips. Now it says TBI, these are just a few of the agencies that have assisted in the search for Summer Wells. Since Tuesday, nearly 70 agencies from across Tennessee and several other states have joined together and continue to work tirelessly to find her. Day 6 of the search for Summer, that was a video there. Monday, June 21st, the Amber Alert for Summer stretches into its 6th day, and officials with the TBI announced Summer is still missing during Monday press conference. TBI said they are more concerned than ever about finding Summer. According to TBI, the FBI has joined the search for missing 5-year-old. Investigators said they have not ruled out an abduction, but currently have no evidence to confirm that Summer was abducted. They have deployed an abduction rapid deployment team, the CARD team, by the FBI. Sheriff Lawson called for all residents of Beech Creek to go out as soon as possible and check their entire property and any place a child could hide. And we remember those chilling words. Check in a space as small as you could fit your laptop in. Small as a piece of paper could hide in. Really chilling. We have not stopped, Sheriff Lawson said. We've been searching 24/7 for 6 days now. So 24/6. Search efforts will continue day and night for the missing child, Summer. At this time, 77 agencies spanning across Ohio, Alabama, Virginia, Georgia, North Carolina, and Tennessee to assist in the search. Search crews have searched 2,400 acres of land since Summer was reported missing. Incoming severe weather was a concern at the time for search crews, according to the officials, and Hawkins County officials said the storms will change their approach, but not their aggressiveness in searching. Officials said search efforts do not stop when it gets dark. Aviation search crews are used to continually map the area after the sun goes down, and at night, they're using FLIR, which is a thermal imaging technology that detects body heat at night. Family members told authorities it is not common for the 5-year-old Summer to wander off. I don't know if I believe that. TBI investigators stressed the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance remain under investigation. When asked if Summer's parents had been ruled out as suspects, TBI officials said the situation is still under investigation and all possibilities are being considered. So when asked if Summer's parents, Don and Candace, have been ruled out as suspects, TBI says it's still being investigated. So in other words, no. But they are still being considered suspects along with everybody else. Because all possibilities are being considered. Authorities said Summer's parents, Don and Candace, were upset about the situation and have been cooperative with law enforcement during the investigation. Now remember, this was in the very, very beginning. And oh, how things have changed since then. Law enforcement comes out, like March 1st of 2022, the very beginning of 2022, and says they're not cooperating. And who knows how long they've not been cooperating for at that point, and they don't even want to clarify, whatever on the word cooperation, because that'll just cause more speculation. So were they ever really cooperating? Because lying to the police is not cooperating. And maybe they think they're lying to them. Maybe they've thought that since the beginning, but they didn't want to make them think that they thought that. They wanted them to think they were on their side. That must have been an approach they were taking. I don't know. And that's just my opinion. Investigators said they have questioned many individuals, including drivers, who were seen in the area at the time of Summer's disappearance, but there is no proof that Summer was abducted. There's just simply none. after the card team was in through there, and I know it was some days after she was reported missing when the card team came, but still, they were there. When asked if Summerwell's parents have been ruled out, officials said that the investigation is ongoing and all possibilities are being considered. The parents are upset and cooperating with law enforcement. We are not going to stop until we find Summer, Sheriff Lawson said. TBI said many of the tips they have received are opinion and speculation, which slow down the process. They stress that people submit tips with only credible information. Now, I wonder where people are getting non-credible information from. Because Don and Candace have been on here since the get, spreading false information and causing people to come up with all these theories by the things they're doing and saying, making people call in non-credible tips. Don is running interference in his own missing daughter's case, in my opinion, and it's really obvious to me, but maybe not so much to other people, and maybe I'm wrong. But from what I see, when I see somebody say something that's different, clearly different than what law enforcement's saying, and there's several things they're saying different than what law enforcement's saying, to the point where it's a totally different narrative than the one that law enforcement gives us. If you compare Don's and Candace's to what the cops say, it's different. Why? Why are they interfering with her case? That's causing non-credible tips to be called in. Don't ever call a tip in because of something that you thought up that you think might possibly be something to lead someone to find Summer based on rumors and speculation. That's all they're getting, it seems like. And it's probably mostly because of Don and Candace, in my opinion. And people that run wild on here because they seem to forget that Summer is a very real child that's probably been through so much more trauma than you could even imagine. Hawkins County officials revealed Summer Wells' father, Don Wells, was arrested on domestic assault charges in 2020. Following the incident, Summer Wells' mother, Candace Bly, filed for an order of protection against Don. In the now dismissed order of protection, only dismissed because Candace went up there and basically dismissed it, told the judge, "Oh, I was lying. He didn't do nothing. I wasn't really scared for my kids' lives. I just said that because my feelings were hurt." She said, "I am afraid for my children and myself." According to the order of protection, Bly said Wells was abusive, mentally and physically. Bly later asked for a dismissal of the order of protection because it was more important for her to meet her codependent needs than for her to meet her children's needs. And look where we are now. On April 21st, 2021, the charges of domestic assault and unlawful possession of a weapon were dismissed. Imagine if they hadn't have been. Just May 21st, June 15th, not quite 2 months later, Summer mysteriously vanishes. And Don's driving a false narrative. Why? Where is she? Hawkins County rescue officials said supply donations for crews assisting in the search have been paused due to overwhelming support. Crews will assess supplies at the end of the day Monday to see if they are in need of more donations. On Monday, TBI released new details in the case. According to investigators, both Summer's mom and dad live together. Her grandma also resides on the property where Summer went missing from. Now, real quick, let's pause and just take a moment here to look at these photos, and I hope you can see them well. So which one is it? Because the two are not the same. And I know this is one shot and this is another shot, but it's from the same setting. Her face didn't get washed in between the two pictures. It looks the same in both of them. But in this one, it's like obviously edited, and I'm not mad about it. I'm glad somebody took the time to clean up Summer's face. She's beautiful regardless. With dirty face and all, it's not her fault. But my point being, somebody took the time to edit that. Okay, great. Thank you, whoever did that. She's beautiful either way, but let's just look at what this is in real life. Because in real life, Summer didn't have somebody to edit her face and come clean her up because her own mom and dad weren't doing it. Don says he was showering with Summer every night because her mom wouldn't do it. Well, if he was showering with her every night, then why was she always so filthy? It's just a question. I'm not hating on them. I'm just calling it out because that, to me, looks like neglect. It does. And Summer is missing, and she's been gone over 2 years now. Dang near 800 days. Creeping up on 1,000 days that she's been missing. And nobody has one single clue or answer where she could be. And I'm not supposed to call out when I see signs of abuse and neglect. While her parents, who are suspects, are sitting here getting coddled on this platform, I can't. I just can't. Sorry, but it's not normal. It's not okay. It's not fair. In my opinion, obviously, the original is this one, not the touched up one. The other one is touched up. Obviously, it's not an original. That's neglect. You can see neglect and abuse in pictures. Sorry, I hate to say it, but you can. When you see enough for long enough, it's kind of clear that there was, at the very least, neglect going on. Now, does that play into Summer's disappearance? I don't know. In my opinion, probably. Very likely that it does. Officials said canine teams specializing in air scent, trailing, tracking, and cadaver dogs are all being used in the search efforts. Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, marks 1 week since 7-year-old Summer Wells was reported missing. Officials with the TBI announced they have received 221 leads since Summer Wells went missing. Detectives continue to investigate each lead Tuesday morning. The community has weighed in on the situation. Natasha Gray works at an antique shop nearby where Summer Wells disappeared. She says, when you don't have a suspect or you don't have a defined, this is what happened, there was definitely an abduction or this child definitely wandered off. I think it really hangs a cloud of suspicion because you're like, could someone in our community be responsible for this? She said. TBI urged property owners in the Beech Creek area to once again check barns, crawl spaces, and other areas a child could hide. They asked to check in spaces as small enough that this laptop could fit in. The Hawkins County Sheriff's Office announced it will send officers to assist. Officials said canine teams specializing now 7-year-old now 7-year-old went where Summer Wells disappeared. She says when you don't have a suspect or you don't have a defined this is what happened, there was definitely an abduction or this child definitely wandered off, I think it really hangs a cloud of suspicion because you're like, could someone in our community be responsible for this? She said. TBI urged property owners in the Beech Creek area to once again check barns, crawl spaces, and other areas a child could hide. They asked to check in spaces as small enough that this laptop could fit in. The Hawkins County Sheriff's Office announced it will send officers to assist any residents who are not able to search those spaces themselves. To request assistance, residents were told to call 423-272-7121, which is the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021. Over a week in imminent danger of bodily harm or death for Summer. The search for Summer Wells continued. Investigators conducted a roadblock canvass Tuesday evening, 1 week after Summer was reported missing, speaking with drivers in the Beech Creek area. I wish they would have done that the night she was reported missing, and I don't know if maybe they did already do that night. Maybe they did, but I hope they did, and I wish they would have continued doing that and not just appear to have started doing it a week after she went missing. I wish they would have been doing that the whole time, honestly. At least not a whole week later after she was reported missing. And I would hope they did do it June 15th, that night too. Like, I really hope they did that. Officials questioned drivers to see if they noticed anything out of the ordinary on the day Summer went missing. Agents and detectives are seen here conducting a grid search in a field not far from Ben Hill Road. This is one of many methods used in the search for Summer. All right, June 24th, 2021. Summer Wells, 5, now 7, has been missing for over a week. Officials with the TBI said search teams are continuing to focus on the area around Ben Hill Road. The TBI held a press conference Thursday at 4 p.m. after saying it would only hold pressers in the case of a big find in Summer's case. This is 9 days in. TBI said in response to the question of how long a case like this should last, this one is outside the norm as far as the amount of time it is taking to locate 5-year-old Summer Wells, who is now 7. The sheriff's office announced more than 106 agencies across 6 states have joined the search for Summer, covering more than 3,000 acres of land. Officials continue to ask members of the public to please refrain from trying to join search efforts and leave it to the professionals. Community members are still encouraged to check their individual properties and trail cameras for signs of Summer. Law enforcement officials said they are physically and mentally tired from the search, but they will go to the end to find Summer. According to TBI, 304 tips have come in, but none have resulted in a significant development in the case. On Thursday, crews began conducting line searches in the Beech Creek area of Hawkins County. TBI officials said the purpose of line searches is to ensure every inch of ground has been covered, especially overgrown areas with fields and high grass. And this is them conducting line searches. Search teams continue to focus on the area around Ben Hill Road. At the same time, agents and detectives are following up on potential leads. As of this afternoon, we've received 304 tips. None have resulted in a significant development in the case. Yet they still decided to have a press conference anyways, and I am assuming that's due to the fact that there's so much pressure from the public. I don't know. Friday, June 25th, 2021. The community surrounding Hawkins County reacts to the now 10-day search for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells. Officials are still searching for answers Friday in the disappearance of then 5-year-old Summer Wells. Saturday, June 26th of 21. The TBI asked for the public's assistance in locating a potential witness in the disappearance of Summer Wells. TBI said it received information through a tip that a Toyota truck was seen in the area of Beech Creek Road and Ben Hill Road in the late afternoon to early evening on either Monday, June 14th or Tuesday, June 15th. The truck is described as possibly being a 1998 to 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack along with white buckets in the truck bed. Not like the one depicted on findsummerwells.com. The TBI said it is unable to identify the driver of the truck, so it is asking the public to help. If you are the driver of the truck or know who it may be, you are asked to contact the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. And I still wonder if the driver of that truck is Don Wells or somebody that he knows. Looking for my drink. I could have swore I brought it in here with me. It's not. And there's another view of the terrain that they were up against, the steep, mountainous, rugged terrain that is one of the, I guess, worst terrain, hardest, toughest terrains that Twyla from EquiSearch says they have ever searched on. Excuse me. On June 27th, 2021, Sunday, in a release, the TBI announced it would be scaling back its search efforts in the search for Summer Wells due to the difficult terrain, exhausting crews both physically and mentally. Search efforts will continue on a more specialized team basis as needed and directed from local, state, and federal agencies. Just because we may not be seen as such a large presence in and throughout the area, rest assured that we have not quit and won't quit until we find Summer Wells, the release states. As of June 27th, the TBI said it had utilized 120 agencies across 6 states, 1,150 searchers on the ground, logged more than 13,800 hours, and the TBI's fixed wing and helicopter logged a combined 21.2 hours of flight in the search for Summer. The Tennessee Highway Patrol helicopter logged 30 hours of flight. Numerous specialized search and rescue groups, including the Tennessee Appalachian Mountain Rescue Black Diamond SCSAR. What does SCSAR stand for? South Carolina Search and Rescue, Great Smoky Mountain National Park, RATSAR. So I'm not sure what RAT Search and Rescue is, and Search and Rescue Tracking Institute. And numerous canine teams have been represented from these agencies. All of the crews have searched more than 3,000 acres since Summer was reported missing June 15th. And there's another view of the steep Appalachia territory that they are searching in. The rugged mountainous terrain continues to cause problems. This slows search operations down in these areas, but rest assured, while encountering these conditions, we are still searching with an aggressive approach with extreme attention to detail, the Churchill Rescue Squad stated in a post on Facebook. The TBI continues to encourage people to submit any credible tips they may have in the case to 1-800-TBI-FIND. Monday, June 28, 2021, the search continues for Summer. Officials with the TBI said authorities have received more than 560 tips as of Monday afternoon. So they're just coming in and coming in. The Churchill Rescue Squad announced a reward fund has been set up for information leading to the discovery of Summer. So the reward fund wasn't set up until the end of June. So, okay, the 28th. So June 29th, 2021, the mother of missing 5-year-old Summer Wells, Candace, spoke out publicly for the first time since Summer's disappearance. So about 2 weeks in, Candace finally speaks. Officials with the TBI announced they have received 650 tips in the search for Summer. We urge the public to share info from credible sources. Sharing speculation and rumors only makes the process more difficult for law enforcement by increasing the number of non-credible tips, TBI stated on Twitter. June 30th, 2021, search crews continue to search for Summer. The TBI confirmed the agency has received 715 tips. The reward fund for information leading to the location or recovery of Summer has a current total of $250, according to Captain Tim Coop of the Churchill Rescue Squad. TBI asked anyone with credible info to call 1-800-TBI-FIND. Officials asked people to refrain again from sharing rumors. They need the most helpful information in the quickest way possible. July 1st, 2021, Summer has now been missing from the Beech Creek community in Hawkins County for 2 weeks and 2 days. Officials with the TBI said they are not giving up in the search for missing Summer. The TBI confirmed it has received 730 tips so far, but none have resulted in a solid lead. Unfortunately. 715 tips by July. Sorry, it's skipping over the pictures like that. There's like 100 and some pages here, so it's kind of hard to scroll and get it right on the spot. Friday, July 2nd, 2021. Crews continue in the second week of the search. Said there have been a tremendous amount of hours spent searching the area and investigating her disappearance. The TBI has received more than 750 tips, but none have resulted in a solid lead in the case. The case is still very active and intense, with everything possible being checked out by Hawkins County detectives and agents of the TBI. Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson said, "Our goal is to find Summer," he said. On July 6th, the search for Summer entered its third week. The TBI announced the investigation into Summer Wells remains. The investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells remains active and ongoing. Officials said in order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, they are unable to provide specific details. The investigation into the disappearance of Summer Wells remains active. July 7th, 2021, the search for missing 5-year-old Summer continues. Officials with TBI said they've received just over 860 tips. Thursday, July 8th, the investigation remains active. And officials said the agency continues to work alongside Hawkins County Sheriff's Office to try and find answers, and the FBI. So there's not really any updates. They're just saying, hey, we're still working on it. Don't worry. We see you. We know that you're watching us. We're working on it. Saturday, July 10th, FBI officials tell WVLT News that they have received over 900 tips into Summers' case, but none have led to a conclusion. The investigation remains ongoing. July 12th, the pastor of the Wells family spoke to WVLT News about Summers' disappearance for the first time. Pastor David Ryder said he is struggling because the Amber Alert case has created a sense of hopelessness for the family. Churchgoers at the Kingsport Seventh-day Adventist Church are keeping the family in their thoughts, Ryder said. Excuse me, the investigation is still ongoing at this time. July 14th, officials with law enforcement told WVLT News that the reward money for the ongoing search for Summer saw a substantial increase. A $25,000 check and a $10,000 check were added to the reward total, meaning the total is now at $37,470. July 15th, 2021, Don Wells raised concern that he thinks there will not be a good outcome in this case. He said, statistically speaking, there's a good chance she's already dead. Don Wells told the Kingsport Times News on Monday, July 15th of 2021, 1 month after Summer was reported missing. Don says, statistically speaking, there's a good chance she's already dead. He says, I hate to think that. I love her with all my heart. If nothing else, I'll see her in the resurrection. Yeah. Don Wells said he believes Summer was abducted, but the TBI has no evidence to confirm that. The agency is still investigating the circumstances leading to Summer's disappearance. So a month in, and Don's already accepted the fact that he's probably just going to see her in the resurrection. And honestly, he seemed to have accepted that the first time I ever heard him talk. Monday, July 19th, 2021, the organization EquiSearch Midwest announced Monday that they would be sending a team back to Tennessee to assist in the ongoing search for Summer Wells. The organization announced that crews would be in the Hawkins County area the weekend of July 24th and asked those that see them to refrain from posting about the search. As this is an ongoing investigation, if you see any of our teams out and about, please do not convey via social media or other outlets where you may have seen our searches taking place. It's very important for the integrity of the case, they said. And then July 23rd, 2021, which was about a month and a week after Summer was reported missing, the Department of Children's Services confirmed they are participating in the investigation into the disappearance of then 5-year-old Summer Wells. Officials said due to state confidentiality laws, there is little they can disclose regarding the investigation. I don't think they disclosed anything that I know of besides the fact that they're involved, and that may be all they could say. Saturday, July 24th, 2021, WVLT News spoke with the director of Midwest EquiSearch chapter, it just says chapter, Dave Rader, about their weekend search for Summer. The team has covered a lot of area, Rader said. Unfortunately, not the right spot, but back out tomorrow. WVL News is also in the process of reaching out to the Department of Children's Services to find out more about the role it is playing in the investigation. And then Monday, July 26th of 21, Summer's 3 brothers were removed from the Wells household by the Department of Children's Services, according to a new report. Don Wills confirmed that the boys were taken by the Department of Children's Services to the Kingsport Times-News, saying his house is not safe. He further clarified to the Times-News that trespassers are approaching the house and the family is receiving threats on social media. That story has also changed, and we've heard that it was because he was drinking again. I've heard it was because they failed drug tests, and it could be a million other things too. We just don't know. And we're not going to really talk about that or get into that because I don't really want to talk about the boys and their struggles, because if they want to tell their story when they're old enough to and whenever they're ready, that's up to them, in my opinion. So I don't really want to speculate on why they were taken too much, and just pointing out that Don has given different reasons to different people why the boys were removed from the home. So when WVLT News reached out to Don twice to confirm the report, he refused to answer questions regarding where the boys were or if they were taken by the Department of Children's Services, which we know they were, thankfully. July 27th, 2021, officials involved in the ongoing search for Summer told WVLT News Tuesday that while search efforts are not being scaled back any further than they already have been, the process for searching is changing slightly. Independent groups looking to come back to Hawkins County to assist in the search will now get approval and schedules from the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office rather than the Churchill Rescue Squad. Once again, this is an active investigation in the efforts to locate Summer Wells, and we do not want to hinder or interfere with the investigation, the update said. August 19th of 21, officials with the TBI confirmed that they have received just under 1,160 tips to date regarding the search for Summer Wells. However, they said most of the tips have not been based on credible information. Officials also confirmed that the search is still ongoing and that agents with the TBI and Hawkins County detectives are still working to find Summer. That's pretty much what they're saying through this whole thing. And I just have to add, there wouldn't be so much interference. There wouldn't be so much rumor and speculation if it weren't for Don and Candace being suspects in Summer's disappearance and also happening to be her parents being on here spreading misinformation. It's not helping at all. And still yet here they are. And I don't think enough people are calling them out on it because there's too many people buying it. And I don't know if there's still to this day people calling in so much misinformation and speculation and rumors that it's still interfering, because from the sounds of it, they weren't really getting that many tips lately, but they were still getting some. So it technically isn't cold, I guess. But also, it could not be cold because they have a whole bunch more than we could ever know, which we all pray is the case. But regardless, misinformation is spreading because of the suspects in her case and because of Summer's parents, who just happen to be suspects. Why would they spread misinformation in their own missing daughter's Amber Alert case? Why? Why are they telling a narrative that's different from law enforcement? Why? Summer Wells has been missing since June 15th, just over 2 months. Officials said that the case is not considered a cold case yet, however, since agents and detectives are still searching for Summer. On August 31st of 2021, officials with the TBI confirmed that they have received just under 1,200 tips to date regarding the search for Summer. According to TBI, the case is not cold and remains active, and the reward fund is currently $37,970. And then Monday, September 6th of 2021, they say, Summer has now been missing for 84 days and has been at the center of a TBI Amber Alert for 83 days. Now, Summer has been missing 785 days as of today, August 9th, 2023, at the time of recording. So add 700 plus days to this now, since this was written. Here's a recap of the case so far in a video on Facebook.
Good afternoon, evening rather. Will Puckett inside the WVLT Now desk. We're going to wait a second for some more people to hop on, and then we'll discuss the Summer Wells case a little bit. Going to be honest, not a whole lot of development. Continue to show you that we continue to follow along with this case and bring you any updates as they come along. So I'll pause for just 1 second as I write something down, and then we'll hop away and start talking about the missing 5-year-old girl out of Hawkins County. This coming Wednesday, she will have been missing for 3 months with little to no leads from TBI and the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department.
I wonder if they reached out to TBI or Hawkins County and asked if there was like, have you guys got any leads? And maybe they said, we've had little to no leads. Like we've maybe got 1 or 2, but they don't know if they turned into anything yet. They're still looking into it. It's not looking good. I mean, where did they hear that from? Like, I wonder what the communication was, if there was any, between these reporters and TBI.
As they continue to look for her. So this is the little girl that we're talking about. You've probably seen her face quite a bit over the past 3 months, but she went missing Tuesday, June the 15th, close to 6 p.m. near her family's house in the Beech Creek area.
We hear 6 p.m. We hear around 6:30 p.m. We saw on EquiSearch's page that they said 5:30. Where did they get that from? And we saw it in the very beginning. The TBI said that Summer went missing in the evening. It still says on her missing flyer it was around 6:30 p.m. on June 15th. Yet Ronnie Lawson says she went missing in the early afternoon. And when asked about a specific time, he says the time varies because the family was searching for her themselves. So really, it sounds to me like the last time anyone knows for sure that Summer was seen was sometime in the early to mid-afternoon hours. Early afternoon.
Of Hawkins County. At a time, there were more than 70 agencies looking for her. Now, Don Wells, her father, had told our Sam Luther months ago that both he and Summer Wells' mother, Candace Bly, had both taken multiple lie detector tests and that they had both passed. Now, we did reach out to the TBI asking them for clarification to see if they were able to confirm those details with us. They were not, but they did say that the family was cooperating.
They wouldn't confirm whether Don or Candace passed their lie detector tests. Why? If they did, why not just say, yeah, they did? And why also are they saying they will not classify cooperation? They're not going to classify that. Was it just easier for them to say they were cooperating? because it didn't really matter either way. Everybody knows they're suspects.
In the investigation, and that they were continuing to look for her. Now, when Summer Wells disappeared, she was wearing gray pants with a pink shirt. She was barefoot. Of course, as you can see in this video right here, she has blonde hair with blue eyes. Now, they say that her hair was long, but pictures right around the time that she had been reported missing showed that she had short hair, possibly even a buzz cut at the time.
We all know it was just a little shorter than a pixie cut. That's really the perfect way to describe it. And it was shaved all the way down to the skin. But by the time she went missing, it had grown out to the point where you think they would have shaved it down too, if they were going to shave it, in my opinion.
More than 300 tips had flown into the TBI and the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department hoping to find her. Now, roughly,
I need to do my job, as teaching, and she just wanted love so much, and I treasured that. I absolutely treasured that, and I'd do anything to have her arms around my neck again. I really.
And I remember Robin saying how Summer used to be like all over her and all up, wanting held and wanting, in her face to play with her hair and to just get love and attention from her. And she was okay with it. But she admitted it might be a little hard sometimes to deal with being up there. She gets heavy and it might have felt a little much to her. So she put her in like the cradle thing, whatever it's called, where it's like a timeout. She had done that and she felt so bad about it now all of a sudden because now Summer's missing. So she feels bad for that. She used to get frustrated with Summer for always being all over the place. But that's just how she was. And she just wanted love because that's what she needed. That says a lot.
Really would. I just love her so much, and she just had so much love to give.
Hope is at the center of this prayer circle.
So they were just showing that there was the prayer vigil going on there. And then we go to September 15th, 2021. All the way into the middle of September now. Exit out of that. Wednesday, September 15th marked 3 months since Summer Wells first went missing. Officials with the TBI provided an update into the investigation and search for Summer Wells. And according to TBI officials, over 1,200 tips concerning Summer have been submitted to authorities, though officials said most of them are the product of rumors and speculation. Officials are also still on the lookout for the 98 to 2000 maroon Toyota Tacoma truck that was possibly spotted in the area near the time Summer went missing. Those with information that is credible regarding Summer, 1-800-TBI find. Thursday, September 23rd. It's been over 3 months since Summer first went missing, and officials with the TBI provided an update. And they said, bottom line, we haven't given up and we won't. It's not really an update, but they're just letting us know. We haven't given up. We're still working on this. Officials said that misinformation has continued to circulate. They can't stress that enough. They want to urge people only to share information from official sources. Don't, for example, share things that Don and Candace are saying because they're suspects and it's not true, most of it. And conflicts with what law enforcement is saying, and then people are calling in tips based on things they're saying and things other people are saying because of things that they are saying. The misinformation and speculation simply doesn't help the case, an official from TBI said. Our team continues to sift through hundreds of tips, and it turns out that most of them are rooted in rumors and bad information spread on social media. The Hawkins County Sheriff's Department shared an update on Facebook. It says, we want the public to know that the case is not cold and we're not giving up. So where's this update that we're supposed to have been getting from Ronnie Lawson? He said, like, soon it was coming. Well, July 15th, August. I mean, that was almost 2 months ago. So I would say that should be coming any day now, right? October 10th. This coming Friday marks 4 months since Summer Wells first went missing. Hawkins County Sheriff's Office officials provided an update on the investigation, saying the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office persists in following up on tips provided to the TBI and the assistance of the public in identifying an older model Toyota Tacoma is still needed. For some reason, they really want to talk to that driver. Interesting to me, really. On October 14th of 21, Friday will mark 4 months since Summer went missing. Don and Candace started their YouTube channel dedicated to thanking the community for all the help it has provided in the search for Summer. Why wouldn't they dedicate it to finding Summer, to raising awareness for the fact that they think she was abducted? You know? Because that would just make sense if they were innocent, but I don't think they are, so that's probably why it doesn't make sense, and that's probably why they didn't make their page dedicated to finding Summer and raising an awareness for her Amber Alert and the fact that they think she was abducted and could just be anywhere with anybody, because they just claim to not have any clue. So why wouldn't they dedicate their page to that instead of thanking people, which is great that they did that, but they still have yet to dedicate anything to the cause for Summer's Amber Alert and the fact that they think she was abducted by some stranger that they never met and they have no clue where she could be or what could have happened to her. So where's the dedication for that still to this day? Because I don't see it. I really don't. The channel has 4 videos on it, most of which feature Wells and Bly as they talk briefly about the efforts put forth in the search. In one video, Wells appears alone and thanks those who volunteered to search for Summer, and in another, both Wells and Bly appear outside thanking those that donated money to purchase billboards, spreading word of the search. October 31st of 21, Don Wells, the father of missing 5-year-old, now 7-year-old Summer, was arrested early Sunday morning for driving under the influence. The 56-year-old, Don, was processed just after midnight on Sunday and released later that morning. He was facing 5 charges: DUI, open container, expired registration, improper lane usage, in violation of financial responsibility, according to a Hawkins County record-keeping app, Mobile Patrol. November 10th of 21, officials with the TBI gave an update into the ongoing search for Summer Wells. According to officials, the search is still on. No one is more frustrated than us by the lack of answers at this stage. However, we haven't given up and we won't, officials with the TBI said. They also said that investigators have executed search warrants and collected digital evidence in the case. Was any of that credible in helping to find Summer? Doesn't seem like it so far. Is any of it going to be credible in getting a conviction to get Summer justice in the case that she isn't found? Hopefully. While we do not discuss specifics about evidence gathered in an ongoing investigation, we can tell you that numerous search warrants have been executed and any potential digital evidence has been collected. This includes social media accounts, the update stated. They also said they've noticed an uptick in misinformation being spread online about Summer, about the search for Summer, who went missing from her home in Hawkins County June 15th, and they want to be clear that they're doing everything within their power to find her. November 16th of 21, according to Churchill Rescue Squad, the reward for finding Summer or information leading to finding Summer is now at more than $58,000. Dave Rader is with EquiSearch, an organization that goes around the country to help find missing people. While the search continues, Rader warns of shady characters trying to capitalize on sympathy in the midst of tragedy. Whether a scam comes in the form of a ransom note or a fraudulent donation collection, Rader has advice for how to avoid losing money. Now, that's not listed here, but I'm assuming there is a link somewhere to a video of him talking, but I guess I didn't copy it, or it wasn't right there. But apparently Dave Rader had some advice for how to avoid losing money, I guess, in regards to Summer Wells and the reward fund, which that's insane that anyone has to even come out and offer advice for that in regards to a missing child's reward fund. But look what happened with Summer's reward fund and her billboard and a million other things in her case that have been in her name, and it has been a scam in Summer's name, or just other forms of scams in Summer's name. During her first few months of being missing, it already started right away. People capitalizing on sympathy in the midst of tragedy. Yeah, they really still are too. November 30th of 21, officials with the TBI announced Tuesday that Hawkins County deputies, along with officials from several other law enforcement agencies, have returned to the Beech Creek area to search for Summer. TBI representatives confirmed that 128 officers from 12 agencies, including 2 canine teams, are involved in the search. The search was a planned move, not something that stemmed from new information. The teams returned to the area to search in areas that were previously too difficult to access because of high grass and heavy foliage. The search is planned to continue through Wednesday. So it was just a short 2-day search. Now, on December 1st, officials with the TBI announced that the search teams approximately have searched 350 acres over the past 2 days. Wednesday marked the second day in the continued search of the rugged terrain area in the Beech Creek area of Hawkins County. TBI officials also shared a dive team with the Sullivan County Sheriff's Office, assisted in searching a body of water. A total of 15 agencies assisted in the search. The tip count remains at around 1,500 according to TBI. In addition to the ground search, crews are also in the air searching for potential points of interest. December 14th, 21. A report from the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office revealed that Summer Wells' mother filed a trespassing complaint after a social media creator and 5 friends came to her property. And that was when Heels was there. December 15th marked 6 months since Summer was reported missing. The TBI said they are continuing to follow any leads and they won't stop working alongside Hawkins County until they have answers. Churchill Rescue Squad shared that Summer's reward fund was now $73,705. So 25,000 and 10,000 put it at 35,000. And then there was the rest of it was $38,705.90, which is from the contributions that were made either directly to the bank and or mailed to their agency, according to their Facebook. People really pulled together for the reward fund. And those 2 big donations definitely didn't go unnoticed. Churchill Rescue Squad continues to assist local, state, and federal agencies as requested. 423 Chase the Scammer. It's been 6 months since Summer Wells disappeared. We're continuing to follow every lead and won't stop working alongside HCSO until we have an answer about what happened to Summer. Monday, January 17th, 2022. The Churchill Rescue Squad provided an update Monday on the reward fund for Summer Wells, the missing Hawkins County girl, at the center of an Amber Alert. As the reward fund remained the same, it was extended to June 15th, 1 year after she was reported missing. The TBI continues to encourage people to submit credible tips to 1-800-TBI-FIND. February 4th of 2022 was Summer's 6th birthday, as the investigation reached nearly 8 months. Officials with the TBI said they had received over 1,800 tips, but none of them panned out. The Wells family released a video on their website at midnight commemorating Summer's birthday. Monday, February 7th of 22, Don, the father of Summer, was arrested on October 30th for DUI, according to a report from WJHL. Wells pleaded guilty to the DUI charge on February 7th, and the state dropped the rest of his charges from October. But this was Wells' first DUI, and since the arrest violated his previous probation, he must serve the remainder of his 11 months and 29 days at the Hawkins County Jail. Don also said in court that he and Candace were taking classes to get custody of Summer's brothers, as they were still in the Department of Children's Services custody, but as we all know, they didn't complete what they needed to complete to be able to get their children back. And some of those things that they were supposed to do were things like refrain from drugs and alcohol. And I can guarantee you that was just one of the conditions, and they weren't meeting that. I mean, in my opinion, but it seems obvious to me. Monday, February 28th, and that there could be a million other reasons behind it. I'm just saying that's like one obvious one that we should all at least see. Yet people are coddling them and babying them because they lost their boys, and saying how great of parents they are and that they didn't deserve that, and going along and entertaining their story that the boys were kidnapped by CPS. Really? They don't have their boys because they did something wrong to lose them and didn't do the right thing to make up for it to be able to get them back. Like, they didn't even try to do the first basic, most simple thing, which would be to get clean and go from there. They couldn't even do that. Monday, February 28th of 22, officials with the TBI and Hawkins County Sheriff's Office returned to Beech Creek to search for Summer. Monday, February 28th. Teams have been focusing on previously identified areas of interest. Would it be footprints? I mean, I don't know. What would be the interest to the area that they identified? Officials stated on social media that they were focusing on previously identified areas of interest, and according to a spokesperson, the identified points of interest were in the area surrounding Summer's home. So I'm thinking it probably had a lot to do with footprints. That's just my opinion. Wednesday, March 23rd of 22, the TBI confirmed the investigation is still active and ongoing Wednesday, with no new developments after the search of previously identified points of interest. And let me be clear, when I said footprints, what I actually mean is like a scent trail. Just a trail, whether it was a footprint or a scent. Just they were, in my opinion, going off of whatever trail they got from Summer, and they were searching in those areas. And maybe they did find something that they identified as an area of interest, because it wasn't a sign of abduction, because they didn't have any sign of abduction, but it could have been something indicating possible foul play, maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll hear about that in court one day. A TBI spokesperson said that they had received over 1,900 tips at that point. Wednesday, June 15th of 22, marked 1 year since the Hawkins County girl, Summer, went missing. At midnight, Don Wells released a statement from jail where he's being held for a violation of probation involving a DUI charge. TBI officials held a press event at 11 a.m. to mark the anniversary. TBI rep Leslie Earhart took the stand at the media briefings, summarizing what investigators had done so far. Now, they're talking about Don here, and then they just go straight into talking about this press briefing. I don't think Don or Candace were at any of the press briefings. Not one. Why? This investigation weighs heavily on us all, and I promise that no one wants answers more than we do, Earhart said. 3 large-scale ground searches have occurred over the last year, Earhart said. She further clarified that several targeted searches had been conducted over the course of the investigation. Earhart also cautioned against misinformation again and scams on social media, asking people not to submit tips based on YouTube videos or theories. When asked to clarify about Don Wells and Candace Bly's cooperation in the case, Earhart said the TBI did not want to characterize cooperation among the parents, saying that it leads to rumors and speculation. In my opinion, that just means no, they're not cooperating, but we just don't really want to say that. Earhart also was unable to confirm if Summer's brothers, who were taken into DCS custody late last year of 2021, were still separated from the family. Ronnie Lawson also spoke at the event, saying no other case at the office had ever lasted 1 year and involved so many man-hours. Please know that we have never stopped, Lawson said. Lawson also addressed the Hawkins County community as a whole, saying the support from this community and surrounding community is outstanding. Specifically thanked those that helped support searches by doing things like bringing food for volunteers. It's been the goal of this team since day one to find Summer, he said. We never stopped or slowed down. The men and women in these agencies have worked for hours and hours and hours. At the event, TBI officials addressed several frequently asked questions about the case. Officials said that Summer's Amber Alert is still active and her case is not considered cold. Officials also reviewed steps they've taken in the search, saying that they had interviewed Wells' family members, neighbors, and even registered sex offenders in the area. One update I did not see on this timeline was when Grandma had her first WJHL, her first news appearance. I wish they would have put that in here. I think it was like March 1st of 22. Officials also drew attention to the red Toyota Tacoma, a truck they had released a description of during the course of the investigation. The truck, described as having white buckets and a ladder in the bed, has still not been identified according to TBI. Still. You can catch up on everything about Summer's case here, and it gives a link to TBI investigation on Facebook. And then there's a link to TBI on Twitter that they drop in there too. Today marks 1 year since Summer Wells disappeared, sparking an ongoing Tennessee Amber Alert. So this was an update from June 15th. Our team continues to work with other agencies to chase every lead we can. This morning, we'll update that effort in an 11 a.m. media availability. Tuesday, July 19th, 22, Dawn released a letter to the kidnappers at midnight. In the letter, Dawn states that the family's lives have all changed since Summer's disappearance, and he asked those responsible to return Summer to the authorities. Officials with TBI have said that there is no evidence that Summer was kidnapped. So there's this article about the letter to the kidnappers was published July 19th, 2022 at 12:48 a.m., updated at 10:50 a.m. Rogersville, Tennessee, WVLT. At midnight on Tuesday, Don Wells, the father of missing Hawkins County child Summer Wells, released a letter he wrote to the little girl and the people he described as her potential captors. The letter was posted on the Find Summer Wells website, of course. In the letter, Don Wells stated that he is still certain that someone kidnapped his daughter. He also asked the kidnappers to return Summer to the authorities. However, the TBI has repeatedly reported that there is no evidence to support the family's claim of kidnapping. The letter further alleges that the family's lives have been ruined, saying Candace Bly, Summer's mother, is unable to find employment. That's why her life is ruined. And Don himself was fired from his job of 13 years. So their lives are ruined because they can't work now, even though they've been working the entire time. Candace has quote unquote been working with Don, right? And Don's all he does is work. That's what he says. So what's the problem? But it ruined their lives because of that. It wasn't just the fact that their daughter was torn away from them that ruined their life. Prior to the letter's release, reps of Don Wells posted to YouTube to announce the letter would be forthcoming. Tim Mullen. Don Wells and his team asked the letters to be treated with the greatest respect. Any comments surrounding the letters are merely speculation, the post stated. The letter comes from the Hawkins County Jail. Wells was arrested on October 30th for DUI, marking his first one. However, since the arrest violated probation, he had to serve a year in jail. Summer went missing, it says in July of 2021, but it's in June, obviously. They had just mistyped. Last month, to mark 1 year anniversary of her case, Don Wells released a statement from the jail specifically addressing his daughter. Anyone with credible information, 1-800-TBI-FIND. That, I believe, yeah, that was the whole timeline. And that, again, was from WVLT with, obviously, I added a lot of my own commentary in there, and I also added some pictures and stuff in there, too, and all the links for my future reference. 785 days ago, Summer Moon Utah Wells was reported missing from the 100 block of Beech of Ben Hill Road in the Beech Creek community of Hawkins County, Tennessee. There was allegedly a red truck with a full bed ladder rack and white buckets in the back in the area of Ben Hill and Beech Creek Road, which is right by Summer's home, on June 14th or June 15th of 2021 in the late afternoon or early. Now, everybody has their speculations, and everybody probably has a different idea in their head of what they think Summer's life was like, what they think happened to her, where they think she is, who they think knows about it, who they think's guilty or not. But regardless of that, Summer needs us all to spread her face and her name and the facts that we do know, which we just went over a lot of, and tell people about her. Tell your family about her. Tell your friends about her. When you're out in public, strike up a conversation in a way to where you can lead into talking about her, just to tell people about her. Make an impact when you say something about her in a way to where somebody will remember it.
She didn't stare, things got tough. I told a lie, she got mad. She wasn't there when things got bad. I never ever saw the northern lights. Never really heard a cluster of flies. Never ever saw the stars so bright. And in the farmhouse it'd be alright, 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 alright. Woke this morning to a stinging lash. Every man rise from the ash. Each betrayal begins with trust. Every man returns to dust. Don't ever saw the northern lights. Never really heard a cluster of fires. Never ever saw the stars so bright. In the farmhouse to be alright, 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 alright.
It was nice to see everybody. Go check out Nature Lover after this. She's awesome. She just hit 1,000 subscribers. Go check her out. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. Thanks for joining Canadian Cookie, and I really hope I didn't miss anybody. I don't think I did, but thank you all. I love you all so much. Justice for Summer Moon Utah Wells.